All right, here we go. So hopefully this is now recording. I'm here with Michael with Gentle Giant, and Gentle Giant's one of the largest and most well-regarded moving companies in the Los Angeles Basin. And we're going to take a chance now to introduce you to Michael Ferrari, the owner or co-owner and founder of Gentle Giant Moving and Storage. And hopefully we can get to know just a little bit about you, Michael, and a little bit of insight on how you got into the moving industry. But first of all, nice to have you. Thank you for coming. Can you just give us a little, can you just give us a little bit of a background here? Where did you grow up and what was your childhood like?
Well, actually, I grew up in, I was born in Torrance, California, but then my dad worked for American Airlines, so I got transferred to Darien, Connecticut.
Okay.
And I grew up there with 4 sisters and the only son and a tough Italian father. So mainly I can remember as a childhood, I did a lot of yard work. You know, he was pretty adamant about having the yard clean and all that. So I did a lot of yard.
That's pretty interesting. And you're this unusual in the Los Angeles area to have someone actually born and raised in that location. There's so many people have moved into LA from all over the United States and all over the globe, but you're actually a local.
Yeah, kind of full circle.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So anyway, that's just good to get a little bit of that background. And your childhood in Torrance, what was it like back then as a kid growing up in Torrance?
Yeah, as a kid, I got transferred early. I was only first grade. So I grew up actually in Connecticut, and I went through first through 9th grade until I was about 15. And then I got transferred to Texas. Now, I went to Texas. It was a little culture shock for me. So I didn't really fit in. Texas is awesome, but I just didn't really fit in. So I learned to play drums. So I started playing drums and practice and practice and practice and practice and practice. And that's kind of was my escape. And doing yard work. My father would like me, always wanted me to do yard work. I was always doing yard work. So,
so yard work and drums. Now, but did you go to college in Southern California or did you go out in Connecticut?
No, I actually in Texas. I went to junior college, and then I went to North Texas State in Denton, where I played drums and jazz in North Texas State. Met this guy who was a guitar player. Yeah, and he's like, "Hey, man, California's happening. We got to go to California. The rock scene is happening." So I'm like, "Okay." So one day, I mean, my parents were pretty bummed, but I had like 6 months to go. I was getting a bachelor's in business. I was going for a business degree. Right. I wasn't setting the world on fire, but I have good common sense. And I just packed up it wasn't working in Texas, and I packed up my drum kit and $1,000, and I headed to California.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I head to California. And
so when you headed back out to California, did you know anyone out here at the time?
No one at all. It's kind of crazy because it's like the old rock and roll story. I slept in my car for 2 weeks and didn't know anybody. And I got a Herald, a little El Segundo Herald. Right. I looked in the back and it said a small company looking for a parts driver. So I went to apply for it, and it ended up being Nissan Racing Team.
So then you got into racing. Yeah.
So I ended up
interesting.
And I was just kind of a shop boy, but I grew up with a father that was, tough Italian, excuse me. Yeah. And I had a very strong work ethic, and I'm not lazy and I work hard. So I got lucky and I got on the race team, a Nissan GTP racing team that actually dominated in 1988 to like 92 and dominated. It was awesome. I went all over. I got to do 24 hours of Daytona. I've done that 7 times. I got to go to Le Mans and did 24 hours of Le Mans. God. The first American team. Yeah, it was just amazing. Yeah.
And so you would have met some interesting people doing that too.
Yeah, totally.
The drivers, the pit people, the whole works, right?
Yeah.
So how did you go from and that's a whole nother story we could go into, but how did you get from there going in a racing team, basically, a professional racing team and a good one at that? How do you go from that to getting into moving? Did you go back into drums, or how did you get into moving from there?
Well, the tough thing was I grew up with a father that was very, you got to put $2,000 in your IRA, since you're teen, and you know, I had to live normal. So what I was, you know, I couldn't live like a rock and roll guy on the streets of Hollywood, you know, so I had a decent place and all that stuff. Well, it was a good opportunity with the race team to actually save a lot of money because I was on the road a lot. Well, when the race team fell apart in '92, Nissan lost a lot of stuff and it just kind of fell apart. I went back to the El Segundo Herald, and there's Gentle Giant moving in stores looking for estimators. So I just went there and I talked to the old owner that was there. Then,
so when was that you went to Gentle Giant Moving and Storage? Around what time?
That was in let's see, 1992.
92. Okay.
Yeah, 92. So I was doing estimating for a while, and the good thing about it was that the office had a whole bunch of offices down the hallway. So I wanted to play my drums, and I was in the area close by. So I thought, okay, I'll do estimates. I really didn't want to get into moving business, but you know, I want to be a musician. But you know, you never quit your daytime job when you're a musician. It's hard, you know. And the competition in California when I came here, I'm a good drummer, but I'm not a great drummer. And I mean, it was tough. You know what I mean? So so I needed a place to practice, and I figured, okay, I'll do estimates, and then I will practice my drumming. So that's what I did, and I ended up in '92 getting into a rock band, and we practiced from '92 to '99, and from then I ended up getting a huge record deal.
Really?
And,
what was the record deal?
It was on Wind Up. Have you heard the band Creed?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were on the same label. It was called Wind Up Records, and we got signed, and I was in a heavy rock band that got signed, and so I left Gentle Giant to chase my dream. Well, we were doing very well. Everything was going great. And then 9/11 came around and ruined my whole career. I mean, I've been playing drums for 30 years, and 9/11, basically that one day, ruined my whole drumming career. So I came back to Gentle Giant, and I needed a job. So I started doing estimates again. And then in 2008, the owner didn't really want to get part of it anymore, and he decided that he wanted to be out. So that's when Maria and I took it over. And we took it over. It's just been really. And
so that was 1998 that you took over Gentle Giant, correct?
Yeah, actually 2008.
2008. Okay, so you've had that's been a solid 12 years now, basically.
Yeah. And what happened was, you know, I took it over in a really tough time. I took it over. The old owner was very, very smart, and he actually read the housing market, and he just really wanted to get out. And so Maria and I took it over, and I have really good guys. The guys have been there for like 25 years, you know, and I sat down and told them, I said, look, I'm a good sales guy. I'm straightforward. I'm honest, but I really don't know how to run a moving company. I'm a drummer. And you know, and it's kind of hard to be an owner now when you were one of the guys back in the day. I was an estimator with all of them. I know everybody for 25 years. So I sat everybody down and said, here's the deal. Let's work together. I don't want to be huge. I just want to do really, really good quality work. You know, if you're going to give me a hard time doing this, then I'm going to sell it. But I just don't want to, because I need a job anyways, right? So we all work together, and I got a really great bunch of guys. I mean, they're family to me. I mean, I'm serious on my guys. You know, sometimes we get some customers that maybe aren't the nicest, and I will not work with them then. You know, I want to be respectful, and I'll give them the respect too. But I got great guys, and I love my guys. I take care of my guys, and we do great work. And
that's good. So that drives your passion for it. There's where the passion comes from.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird. I never thought I'd end up in a moving business, to be honest with you. You know, everybody who's in the moving business never thought they'd be in it. I have so many friends now in it that just like, I just fell into it. Or, you know, I did it because doing estimates was awesome, because when I was listening to practicing my music, I could drive around all day, listen to my songs and get them in my head. So when I had band practice, I could learn. So it worked out perfectly. It's just, you know, when two planes hit the Trade Center, I didn't think that was going to happen. I mean, it's kind of a drag.
You never know.
Right. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was, but no, it's great. And, you know, it's funny. My dad worked for a big American Airlines, and he always told me, you're as good as the employees you have working for you. And there's a lot of companies out there that really beat up their employees. They just, you know, moving industry is kind of the bottom of the food chain a little bit, you know, and they beat the guys up. But I got good guys. They respect me. I respect them. And I got a great team. I'm amped. Yeah.
No, fabulous. Michael, I'm going to end this first recording because we're going to go into a lot more about Gentle Giant, but I wanted to get a little bit of background into you. So for now, we thank you. Keep moving, guys, and see you next time.